Well then, hello and welcome back. I'm going to apologize beforehand because this is not going to be one of my beginner's logs. Today, honestly, I'm not in the mood. I'm just going to paint and rant. There's a lot of happening on this week on precisely on stupid news, but that somehow are interesting to me. And well, yeah. Uh, I'm not in the mood to continue for now the beginner's log. I'm going to do that later. I'm going to try on this captain to paint this sword on a frost effect. That's going to be for another video. Today I'm just going to paint and let my mind do the talking, whatever that ends up to be. Um, it's just a different day, different shit. Today, if I'm not mistaken, it is the day that very creative, very quote unquote important, at least to me in my youth, uh, person passed away. The creator of Dragon Ball, Akira Toriyama. Never met you, my friend, but I salute you, whatever you are. Uh, I loved your work. It was phenomenal for me watching it when I was growing up. I'm not sure if my son will follow up on those. I don't try to make. I will never try to make my son a copy of me. But I know that I loved it, and it hurts to get the news that you have passed away. I know you left other people ready to continue your legacy. Hopefully, I know that most of them, because basically Dragon Ball Super, which is the one that I watched, took him back to. I'm old. I lived after Dragon Ball Z. I never watched the next series, and yeah, I watched Dragon Ball Super. I think it was a perfect return for me to, as an old fan, to your work. And yeah, well, hopefully this team. I know that this was not that series was not done entirely by you, but by a team of people that they were dedicated to continue your work. I'm not sure of their names. I hope I'll research that later for maybe for another video because I suck at editing. But yeah, uh, you will be missed. You will be missed. Uh, there were other news in geekdom. Uh, Nothing new entirely in a way, and hopefully this log will end up in my son's uh, view at some point. I hope it does. And boy, I'm not sure if you're going to take on my hobbies or on my or any of the things that I like. Though I will like to share that with you, my son. But as I said previously, I will never try to make you a copy of me. You are going to be your own person. However, this bit of news, uh, I think in a way because I see you, my son, as a creative person. I see that you have a better even at 2 years old. I think you have a better music understanding that I will ever have. You enjoy playing the guitar as much as you can do at 2 years old. It's not like you're a prodigal genius by 2 years old. You're just scrambling with it. But I hope to. encouraged you to understand and learn to play the guitar in the way that I probably will never be able to do so. But my point is that what is happening right now in one of the my escape methods, which is playing video games. What is happening right now? It is a quote unquote a second bout of uh, a polemic or a situation made by people people that they call themselves creatives, but they never were creatives, and they use their influence, their capacity, or their self-righteous position to influence the work of others. And basically, they just shit on everybody's plate. Um, Hopefully, by the time that you're seeing this, this has already been blown away and fixed some of the current issues that that the hobby of gaming has been facing for the last, I don't know, 10 years. Not many games are being well produced, especially by big companies. Uh, there's been a lot of flops, which is in reference to games that do not sell well and that they are pretty bad games, a bad experience, which is it's tied one on and the other. And just to take back to the point that I want to tell you, my son, is that if you're a creative, you will find this kind of people always, anywhere that you're that you're going forward with your if you decide to move into the world with an artist trade, be playing guitar, being a musician, being a painter, whatever. If you decide to go into the world with that profession, which is not something that I would personally recommend, but you do you. I will support you in any way I can. You will always find this kind of people. These kind of people will always tell you, "Hey, yeah, I was, or I am a also creative," but they are always going to try and control your own, your expression, your art, what you're doing. For some fucked up reason, these kind of people will always find it inappropriate, uh, inaccurate. They will disagree with it, and they will try to control it. This is basically what's happening right now. And there's a group of people. I think that the company is called Sweet Baby Inc. Uh, Currently, nicknamed Sweet Baby Stink, and they've been strong armed. They've been strong arming their way into different companies with the excuse of making the games more inclusive, um, and basically end up dominating or influencing the game in such a hard way that it does not resemble anything and that appeals to any consumer or any client of the product. And therefore, well, those games they go down. They do not sell what they are expected to sell. And creating games, at least in where at the year that I'm talking about this right now, making those games is really, really, really expensive. It is not a thing that anybody can just drop out a couple of dollars and there you have a video game. No, no, no. These companies are big companies. They invest billions of dollars, millions or billions of dollars, depending on on the project, and obviously they expect revenue on that. But when you antagonize your, at least I don't know, the 80 to 90% of your clientele, you're not going to sell shit, and that investment is not going to get back to you. So yeah, therefore some layouts on the industry, an industry that I on my other on my end. I've been trying to get a little bit into it. I don't want, let me be clear to this, my son, because I'm not sure what the future holds. But I do not want to be a part of a big game company. I want to create something that I've been passionate about for since the very fucking first Nintendo. When I started playing with it, when I was 8, 9 years old. That was my first foray. Well, not my first foray because I did play with my cousins in television, which is another pretty fucking old console. Anyways, let me just stop rambling over here and tell you. Okay, I've been very passionate about video games since I started playing on my Nintendo, and I've always wanted to create games. I've enjoyed being a dungeon master, a storyteller for different role playing games, tabletop. Uh, I will try to play those with you at some point if you want or if you enjoy them. So at least you know oh, at least you know what I was passionate about or what I am passionate about. Again, you're not under any obligation to like the same things that I like. You're going to be yourself, and I will be nothing else but happy if you are doing that. But yeah, I just wanted to learn about it and create something that I will love to share with the world and with you and just to be proud of. Uh, Taking back to what this person Akira Toriyama has done for the world because funny thing is that there's around the world there's been many fans of his work to the point that that in Mexico this is me I'm we're Mexican boy, so you gotta understand some of your background. Yeah, there was an event during the period of time where the Dragon Ball Super series was on a story arc that it catch the attention of many people around the world, and it was being shown in a plaza in Mexico by one of our politicians. I don't know who was that. It was a local politician, so it's probably not important at this point. But it gathered around 5,000 people or something like that, like an outrageous number of people just in a plaza watching this. This is the impact that this guy had. I'm pretty sure that that could have happened anywhere else too, because he was famous around the world. The series was famous around the world. Many people fell in love with the characters and the story around it. Hopefully, you will do too, but if not, again, as I said, it doesn't matter. Um, and this is when you're at that point, or you're nearing that point, or even in a local situation, you will always find people that will try to stick to you and be some kind of parasite to your success. That is what is happening with video games. These companies that they offer stupid services such as sensitivity reading or um, a uh, I don't know what they call it. It's just like basically they provide writers over there because they think that if you are a brown man, brown skinned man such as me, you cannot write black characters for some stupid reason. Or if you're a white man, you cannot you cannot write about a Mexican person. It's just fucking stupid. Um, yeah, they provide that kind of service, which is basically just give me money to do something stupid that's not going to help you anyway, and you're going to end up losing more money. But they have been strong arming this. their advances on these companies for years. Prior to this, like I don't know, 10 years back, uh, I, w- I was witness to the first skirmish, so to speak, about this kind of situations. It was called the Gamergate. I do remember. Yeah, yeah, sure. I'm a veteran of the meme war. I do remember them attacking the borders of Kyrgyzstan, whatever. Yeah, whatever. That doesn't matter at this point. But it it is a reflection of what happened. In as a psychologist, I think that we're moving into a cyclical situation. What happened 10 years ago basically was that gamers discovered that there was a lot of incestuous relationships between the up and coming the quote unquote developers of video games with the gaming news media, which is currently, at least at the point that I'm making this video, I'm hoping it will change in the future. But at the point that I'm making this video, it's just a laughing stock. It's not even worth your time going to any of those websites and trying to read any of those shits. It is just, as I said, a fucking waste of time. Um, it is happening again, and this is what happened last time. When gamers found out about that, they started looking deeply into this situation and started to find out, hey, there's a this kind of the game developers are basically in bed with they're basically in bed with uh, news people for video games, and they are just constantly cycling, sharing their good reviews or anything like that as favors, and it is completely nauseous. That's unethical, which is something that I hope you will never be um, unethical or a video games journalist either. At the point at this point when I'm making this video, they're basically synonyms one of another. Uh, video game a video game journalist is basically synonymous with unethical. I'm sure if somebody ever sees this video, that's not going to make them a fan of me. Whatever. I'm just saying it how it is. Uh, it is important for you, my son, to learn these behaviors of people, so you can avoid them in the future. So you can at least recognize them and know that you're what to expect out of them. So 10 years ago, basically, gamers found out that this was happening, and they found out that the games media and the up and coming games developers were basically very incestuous, and it was a big skirmish. It had ramifications outside of gaming ramifications, very very important for the political landscape. Depending on who you ask, at least if you ask me, that's what I think. Um, and now, and after that, 10 years later, we started noticing that the quality of our games and the stories and everything around us was starting to decline if it wasn't completely an utter shit. Uh, Many games happened to be impacted by that. One of those was currently it's Spider-Man 2. I played Spider-Man 1. It was a fun game, though found it repetitive, and I was probably expecting a little bit more of a high standard because I am a big fan of the video games of Batman Arkham series up to a point. I'll get back to that later. Um, and well, yeah, the quality was completely declining, and people starting to ask questions, okay, what's going on, and uh, why are some of our favorite developer studios just suddenly going and using something that's basically alienating their main customer base. What's happening? And eventually, this one game basically triggered a full blown quote unquote investigation by the gamers, which, depending on who you ask, they can be completely um, on the spectrum of autism, and that really is not something that you want to mess on with, because they can search everywhere for every detail and find out what's going on. The envy of any kind of detective association or anything like that. I'm pretty sure, if anybody at the Vidosh Association in France should consider asking some gamers for help at some point, pretty sure it will help them. But anyways, I digress. Uh, the main point being that eventually the information started to come out. Okay, this sweet baby stink has been basically strong armed their way into companies that have been making very good games, with the intention to basically tell them how to write certain characters, because quote unquote they are, the people behind it are white or are straight or whatever. And here comes the savior, Sweet Baby Sting, to change everything and to adjust everything for the underdog, so to speak. Or that's how I'm pretty sure that's how they see it, which is not correct, because, well, I'll go back into why at another point. Um, this is a reflection of essentially what happened 10 years ago, and it's repeating itself, in the point that we are finding out that every one of these companies is very incestuous, and Sweet Baby Inc. has, or Stink has, spawned a plethora of other companies just like that are still active in gaming. There, and that sucks, because they are stifling the efforts of very creative people that want to share and create a product that will not only sell but will be possibly very enjoyed by people, um, that that like me just want to have a free time playing a video game and enjoying either the scenery, the gameplay, the story, whatever. So they will have to come in, and this I don't know what they call them, but basically these firms that review the work of these companies, what they want is just simply power over what a certain demographic wants to. In this case, the demographic that I'm meaning is not a racial demographic, but the demographic of gamers. Gaming has never been a intentionally gendered hobby. It was never intended and has never been intended. Surely there are some products that are intended more for males than for females. Absolutely. But it's like everything else. It's just I don't know. I'm not sure if there's going to be any Starbucks when you're old, but currently there's a coffee thing called Starbucks and coffee shop. The majority of the consumers or the clients Starbucks are female. Was it intentional? I don't think so, because they want to sell coffee. They want to sell it to everybody else, to everybody that wants coffee. But it catered in its vast majority to the female audience. Is it bad? No. Is it wrong? Fuck no. Same thing with video games. If it caters more to males, good, awesome, perfect. As long as it is not discriminatory, because it is not. When somebody creates a game, you know beforehand whether or not you want to participate in that product. It is like, as these companies are doing something like asking a great famous painter to paint something that they want because they feel excluded from what the artist is doing. It is stupid. I'm not sure if I'm landing the analogy correctly, but let's say that Bob Ross paints scenery, um, woods, mountains, whatever, and then these idiots come over to Bob Ross and they say, "Hey, you're not painting black people. You're not painting the Asians. That's racist. You need to paint Asians. You need to paint Asian trees. You need to paint black mountains now." That's fucking stupid. Whichever way you want to look at it, it's fucking stupid. Learn to recognize this. Learn to recognize this behavior, because it is never going to go away. There's always going to be a group of people that are very frustrated that they were never, ever able to be creative. And they're not accepting that. So they want to control other creative people. That's what they do, and it pisses me off. Like, to no end. Why? I'm not creative. I'm painting something that it's not created by me. I might be. I'm not sure. I haven't explored it. But I see you, my son. I see you growing very interested in music, very interested in drawing. I'll try to help you develop those when you're growing up. Hopefully, you'll take those. If not, that's okay. But you need to understand that respecting others people's creativity, whether you like that creativity's results or not, it is a very important part of a cohesive society. When you stifle creativity, you stifle the society that you're living in. That will come bite you in the ass eventually. That will destroy the society that you live in, and the society that you live in is the same society that your, your parents, your children are living in. And that's just being mean for being mean, for no other reason. You don't like to be a part of the society, okay, just move out, go out of the reservation. Just don't fuck it for everybody else. We have a tale in this video of two different people impacting the world. Those that create and want to share and be happy with it. Akira Toriyama-san, I salute you. I love your work. Never met you, but you made an impact on my life. And on the other hand, you have those that just want to stifle the creativity of people, such as Mr. Toriyama-san, that they have never and will never be a shadow of what Toriyama-san was. But that is not stopping them from bothering creative people and stifling their ideas in the name of the greater good, or in the name of representation, or whatever. Excuses are excuses, and they have plenty of those. Learn to recognize this behavior. Hopefully, I explain a little bit of this in this video, on this rant. I'm going to continue painting on my end. I'll have another video of a different technique. As I said, this is the a captain is going to have a frost sword. I'm going to try to replicate an effect that I saw in another video. And funny thing is that these are called intercessors, and this is a Revis armor space marine. These do not link with each other. This asshole, this captain, can only be a captain of other space marines in their same fucking armor. So, well, whatever. It is whatever now. It is. It has been a fun project painting this idiot. Anyways, I'm rambling again. I think I've just said whatever I wanted to say. I'll say goodbye for now. I don't want to leave it on a bad note. Regardless of what the world says, regardless of what the world might seem to be to you right now, know that you're always loved, my son. I will always love you. I will always try to be there for you. And if you're not my son and you're looking at this video, I hope you have somebody that it will be there for you. And if you don't have that person, try to be that person for somebody that you love. Anyways, say goodbye now. Love you all. Have a happy life, guys.